Hey everyone, Wigthany Wantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where we get into the best and the worst tracks of the week, as well as some of the songs that I just thought were kind of underwhelming. That's all. And before we kick this segment off, as usual, I want to mention to you guys that if you want to support this segment, hit up our Amazon Associates link down there in the description. Anything you buy on Amazon, if you live in the US, we get kickback from it. Does not add to your overall price. And yeah, that's all. Let's get into, like we do, the worst tracks of the week first. This past week blessed us with some pretty awful tracks. I barely even want to get into it. Some of them were so shameful and so disappointing, to be quite honest. But hey, you know, it's what we do here every week. I have to mention Drake with his new track, Fake Love. Easily one of the most entertaining, scratch that, unentertaining tracks I had heard this week. Sounds like a boring Hotline Bling, just like I said in this video over here. I know you don't just rap, and I don't mind when you sing. But tell me why this track sounds like a boring Hotline Bling. We also have a new track from Charli XCX called The Afterparty with Lil Yachty. Charli XCX, I really loved that EP that she came out with recently, working with the good people over at PC Music. It was really quirky, it was really on the fringe, it was really catchy, it was futuristic, it was pop, it was insane, it was off the wall, but now she has gone to this plain, annoying bubblegum sound with this new track over here. The Lil Yachty verse, of course, doesn't really bring too much to the table. I don't really care for Yachty's features a lot of the time as much as I do kind of his songs, though I did really love him on that Dram track, Broccoli, but I digress. This track, utterly boring in my opinion, and just really obnoxious. There's not really too much else to say about it. Moving on from there, we have two tracks from Pussy Riot. The Russian activists and music group came out with two tracks this past week, one of which is this kind of weird electronic Russian rap song that's very abstract and very obnoxious, and then something for people over in the good old US of A anti-Trump song called Make America Great Again, which is really overstated satire in a lot of ways. She's the woman featured in the video, Nadia Tolokonikova. She's trying to get into the country, but they're branding her all over her body on numerous occasions because she's a foreigner, because she's not thin enough or not sexy enough, though hypocritically the track in numerous, or the music video, in numerous shots uses sex and her body to sell its political message. Like, you're obviously bringing in the most attractive member of Pussy Riot to do these songs to sort of, you know, give us this titillating sort of visual to go along with these tracks. But these, as annoying as they are not even the worst tracks of the week. That has to go to our good friends over at She and Him. They have a new track called Happy Holiday. God, why are they doing another Christmas album? This is so shamefully bad of a rendition of this track. The instrumentation in the background is virtually non-existent a lot of the time, and Zooey Deschanel's lead vocals on this cut are just really off and lazy. It just sounds like they're not even trying anymore. This is just the most underwhelming and unfestive version of this song I've ever heard. I've never heard a holiday song make me less excited for the holidays than this horrific rendition of this track. You know, if you like your holiday music boring because you're too alternative to just listen to the classics, you're too alternative to just listen to the same stuff that everybody else is listening to, pumped through the speakers in every box store in America, you're too alternative for that shit. You got to listen to some She and Him. Just pack away that CD in your NPR tote bag and bring it to the Christmas party you've been invited to. You'll get kicked right out. I'm sorry for all the cuts, guys. I can't keep my shit together today, but we're gonna blast through all these next tracks. I apologize. All right, here are the songs that sort of underwhelm me me this week. I was kind of indifferent toward them, but still, they're worth checking out if you're into these artists. I got to give a shout out to the band Uniform for the song Symptom of the Universe. This is kind of a noise, industrial, punk rock, a bit of a black metal vibe on this track too. It's really noisy. It's really aggressive. If you like your music hard-hitting and abrasive and animalistic, give this thing a shot. It's kind of cultish. It's very dark. So shout out to that band on that new cut over there. Might be scoping out their new record. We have Ab-Soul with the song Braille featuring Boss, which the hook on this track is all about how, hey, everything's been done before, everything's been said, nothing's original, which in a sense I agree with that, but it kind of seems like right from the get-go they're just like, hey, we're not going to do anything original here, just telling you that, just letting you know. So don't expect anything original. We're telling you that nothing can even be original. I think you should at least strive for originality in a sense, even if you don't perfectly achieve it, because, something that is perfectly original, wholly original, might not necessarily be good, So still, I think striving for it is not really a bad goal. They seem to kind of reject it right from the outright, and the result is really another one of Ab-Soul's least interesting songs. Like, there's not really too much going on this track, sadly. Moving on from there, we have Drake with Sneakin featuring 21 Savage. This is one of the better singles that Drake had dropped over the past week. And even though it does kind of blatantly rip off 21 Savage's sound in a lot of ways, Drake does come through with some decent one-liners. And I actually wish we heard more of this Drake on Views, to be honest. Then I want to finally reference in this section the new clipping song Fat Fingers, which is one of 40 songs over the course of 30 days that are all for an anti-Trump or Trump-free America, a project of songs that are all, fuck Trump type of songs that I'm going to be talking about in sort of a standalone video in the coming days. Though this track, some people have been contacting me saying, Anthony, have you heard this clipping track? It's really cringy. I don't think it's that cringy. I think sonically it sounds just as quality as any other clipping song, and I think that the track is maybe a little too generous toward the Clinton camp, but pretty much everything David says about Trump being the shithead that he is true. So, I mean, I don't really think it's a bad track. Performance-wise and musically, I think it's good. If you're the type of person who sort of avoids politics in their music outright, maybe then you won't really get into this. I think that's kind of especially true for people this election season, because Trump is just so shitty that when you try to attack him, some of the shit is going to splash on you and kind of make you shitty as a result, because sort of attacking him has become so cliche and so easy at this point. Like, all of his flaws and all of his ridiculousness are just kind of like all out there in the open for everyone to see. And again, sort of like, outrightly criticizing it in a way as blatantly as this song does can kind of seem easy, but, I think it's a well put together track. I think it's technically and I think it's technically sound, and I think it's an intricate song. It doesn't sound like clipping just half-assed this track. You may not fully agree with it. You may feel like, it doesn't give equal time to both sides or whatever. But still, I think it's a decent track. Now, moving on to my favorite tracks of the week, or no, one more track that I thought was just okay. The new YG song, One Time Comin, which is another track from the West Coast rapper, which sort of deals in the whole issue of police brutality, fallen victims of police violence. This track, it's okay. It's a little underwhelming. I'm glad that he's going in on this topic again, but I think he had attacked it so much better on his latest record, which, if this song is good for anything, it should be a reminder to try out YG's latest album. Very good album, one of my favorite hip-hop records of the year, and the closer of that album, as far as a police brutality song, is absolutely fucking fire. So, give this track a shot and go on to that latest record of his if you haven't given it a shot already. And on to my favorite tracks of the week. We just have a couple over here. I want to give a shout out to Joanna Newsom on Make Hay, which was a track or a non-album track that had been released in celebration of the 1-year anniversary of her latest album, Divers. So if you like Divers, you're going to dig this track. It's a bit of a leftover from the record. It's pretty good. Moving on from there, we have Run the Jewels with Talk to Me. Not a song where I think Run the Jewels are kind of outdoing themselves, but a good hardcore hip-hop song. Pretty much everything that's great about Run the Jewels. Let me turn down this. There we go. Everything great about Run the Jewels sort of copied and pasted onto a new cut. So nothing wrong with that. We have let's see, The Last Shadow Puppets with a great Leonard Cohen cover, Is This What You Wanted? The string sections on this track are great, and also the vocal performance is pretty dramatic as well. The Last Shadow Puppets, their latest record, I thought was pretty underwhelming and uninteresting, honestly, but they came through with this cover, and it's stellar. It's a great cover. So, I mean, I think Leonard Cohen fans have a lot to celebrate this year between this cover and a new Leonard Cohen album, which I think is okay. I'm not crazy about it. Not really sure if I'm going to do a full-length review of it or anything like that. Yeah, whatever. And I think we're going to finish it off with this ASAP Rocky song, Telephone Calls, with Tyler, the Creator, Playboy Carti, and young Gleesh. And apparently this is going to be featured on a new mixtape that is just around the corner. Now I got to turn up this thing again. Thank you. Now this track is crazy. It's off the fucking wall. Like, the beat is nuts, and the verses on this thing... It's almost unpredictable. It's like a slugfest between Rocky and Carti and Gleesh and Tyler. Like, the Playboy Carti sort of comes out of nowhere at the beginning. Tyler's verse just like really goes on very long. ASAP is all over the track. The beat has moments where it just kind of stops for like a little bit. Like, this song has no real like traditional structure to it, but I like it a lot. It's totally off the fucking wall. It's like a total slugfest, and the flow is really weird too. If ASAP Rocky experiments like this on the rest of this mixtape and brings some good features and some crazy hard-hitting instrumentals, this could be a fantastic tape from the ASAP Mob that we're looking forward to over here. I mean, because we also have to take into account that it is the ASAP Mob, so you're going to be bringing in all these other voices, especially all these other rappers in the mob that are not really as good to listen to or to hear as ASAP Rocky or ASAP Ferg. We're probably going to be talking about some lackluster tracks in the track listing, but this song is quality, in my opinion. This is a great track. This is a hot track. So I really have no reason not to look forward to the tape right now, but we'll see. And those are essentially my favorite, least favorite, and the sort of underwhelming or indifferent tracks of the week. Cool? Cool. All right, again, hit up that Amazon Associates link if you want to support this segment, and check out all these tracks. All of them have been linked down there in the description, so if you want to hear any of them, even the ones that I didn't like. And yeah, guys, that's all. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Forever.